Where they are. My bad.
We got the best intro music out there, man. Shit gets me jacked up. Welcome to the show. Welcome on, welcome all. Hopefully we don't get rugged by YouTube algorithmic overlords as I complain about them aggregating my data for their alpha. You pricks, but welcome to the show. We got some awesome homies hanging out with me on the couch here today. Mr. Manawak directly to my right. Everyone knows, but real quick, give a hello to the chat. So anyone that doesn't know.
Hello, everybody. It's been a while. Nice to see all y'all out there. I wanted to give a shout out to my guy at work. He took it today so I could take the day off and hang out with y'all.
Baby bags.
Baby bags.
Shout out to Baby
Richard,
Bags.
Baby bags. Burn it.
Blast of the past. Iran, my homie, my man.
Yeah.
How you feeling? It's good. You're looking extra tan.
I am
Okay.
pretty tan.
What have you been up to?
I moved to the Florida Keys and now I spend a lot of time outside.
Florida Keys?
Fishing, and then when I'm done fishing, go home and I like to leverage.
That's a pretty good existence, man. Well, thanks for joining me on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You know,
Nice to be back.
It's a great day in crypto. It's a great, honestly, I'm super excited about the time frame. You know, I love when the markets are down, but the alpha is up, and the surety of Bitcoin being here to stay is never been stronger. So it's a great day to cover the markets. And I do have a video not coming out on Basement, but on Discover Crypto tonight on my favorite 5 altcoins to turn 20 grand into 200 grand this effing cycle. So make sure to check that one out. And also support our partners here. We got Bitcoin IRA. If you're looking for a good IRA option for getting your crypto into and finding that tax incentives that are found within IRAs, take advantage of Bitcoin IRA. We got a link down in our description. L Bank, we're going to be having another volume-based competition. I don't think a lot of people understand how much money you can win just all based on volume. A couple million in volume qualifies you from the last round. I mean, I think number 3 was at $1 or $2 million in volume, making like $1,000. Absolutely ridiculous. And also, I got to give a shout out to, of course, Arculus, but Isaac in Quince Ocha.
Here I am. The shirt will come in Friday. You'll see me wear it that day.
I'm ready for it, man.
I'm ready to.
You're gonna have to wash it like every night because honestly, I've never seen a finer comparison. Well, maybe I have seen a finer comparison. Aaron, that psychopath, put up this comparison, trolling me. Unbelievable. I do my hair one time. This is how they do me. You know what I'm saying? That should be Tia. You know what I mean?
He is going to be sad about the blonde, though.
That should be Tia. Kind of looks similar. I can get that. And it's been a very fast-paced week, holding down all the shows. Still kept up the workout every single day. And I feel incredible. I am still 255 pounds, but I am not as fat as I was when I was 240 pounds. You know what I mean? So like that has been the shift. I refused to like let go of the weight. I just wanted it to shift to different places in my body.
That's hard to do.
It is hard to do, right? Now make sure you are following me on X here. Where am I at here on followers? We are at 7,800 followers on X, growing pretty good for being a new guy on the block in X. But the real story here today, 78,000. What you got, Isaac?
You fix your screen.
Oh, fine. Yeah, that's a good point. 78,000 subscribers today. We must be doing something right, Isaac.
I know we are doing something right. It's been a long time in the making since 10K, but we're here.
You know what's kind of crazy is that we're pulling off like 2 to 3 million views a month. It still is a relatively small channel. A huge thank you to everyone out there sharing in our shorts. They will they go ballistic sometimes, but everyone that's here in the OG room, the supporters, if you're not already a member, consider supporting the channel. It's like $5 a month. Join this button right here, $5 a month, and you will get access to the usual daily morning. You can honestly spend a good chunk of the day with me asking me one-on-one questions in the OG live stream chat in our Discord. Link down in the description. This is where me and Isaac hang out. We just plug in there. You can give us some questions that are harder to address on a live stream where I have to kind of slow down the process and, kind of take it piece by piece there. So there is that. And shout out to the crowd here. We got DeFi Crypto and Airdrops Vet over there. Juicy Does Crypto, my man, holding down the Discord. Wispy, Jay-Z, Mr. Mark, Nick Dunn, Nicole Tater, Madman Manuro, Doobie Doo with the memes that wake me up every single day. Absolutely love them. Jay Hines, Crypto Too Rich, all the rest of them, Deadwood. Good to see you guys. And Crypto Stevo was on a space with me last night. Shout out to Givers Gain, Billy, Crypto Billy, for what they do over there. A great community. Oh boy. Okay.
You are banned.
There, I don't even. I missed what happened there.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He's gone.
Wholesome, and someone gets banned. That's the way it goes. So shout out. We got 78,000 subscribers. What Manawak coming in here from the side? What is this?
I'm sharing the love, baby. Sharing the love.
Appreciate you, dude.
Hope whoever gets it, definitely listen every day.
Big Skip Belly in here today.
I know.
Man.
I had a good trade last night.
You did.
I scalped $900 out of somebody who lost it. So there's got to be a loser to the winner. We're spreading the love. I'm writing it off. I'm gonna start a new business, giving out biscuits.
I was talking about you like on the phone this morning, and it's like the tools that we are learning to trade with in this market. I mean, this is knowledge that weighs nothing and can be applied to basically any industry on the planet for an extended period of time. So getting into the mix, understanding how to trade and paying your tuition, it takes a few years to really get in your stride trading, but that is a long lasting ability that not many people know how to do. So jump man. Oh God. Isaac,
he's paying for it.
I don't think he's ever going to escape from this.
No, never.
Yeah. All right. So now, as in terms of trading, let's take a look at the markets here real quick. Let's go check out the 12-hour liquidity levels here. Trying to snap down a bunch of longs that are in place. It can kill off here if it bunches down to 95.5. Let's go check out Trading View right now to see if we got that 15-minute green dot cooking. If I'm ready to YOLO in live on the show here today. Let's exit this. So what the 15-minute chart looks like currently. Let's add it. And God, how insane. Like we had India and Pakistan announce like an actual war kicking off between the two nations, nuclear powers. But then just a little hint, hey, trade talks might actually go pretty good though. And then you get an absolute boom in crypto prices. We rose from the trade. Oh yeah, good call. We rose from the trade peace deal on the edge, the announcement of it. We rose 3.3% in a very, very short amount of time. Honestly, this market does not look very weak at all to me. Let's go check out the indicators to see where we're at in terms of entry points on this movement here. So right now, we are not, we actually have a little bit of move of volatility to the downside. I actually might be able to get this. We'd probably have to see that liquidity snap down to about 95.5 to get the momentum wave to or near the 60 level. And then we do have this trigger wave on the VWAP right ahead of it. Actually not looking too bad at all. So I might actually be able to do this live. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Let me know if we do break down to 95.5, and then I can start throwing some scalps back into the market here. I was talking about a damn long yesterday, man. I'm walking 93.3, and then I had to do like shows all day. You know what I mean? That's the pain of it.
Would have been a good day.
It would have been a good day,
Yeah, I got in mine about 2 to 3 days ago.
Did you?
And it was up 300. I'm like, nah. And I was down 300 and then back up. And then that pump yesterday, I closed it. So
yeah,
took the money off the market.
Doobie-doo, I will go when I go back to West. I will go and get some ice cream. I just looked it up.
What are you talking about? Ice cream?
He said, have you been to Wicked Licks in Key West? My
Wicked
family owns
Licks?
it. That's what
Okay.
Doobie-doo's.
Okay.
So I'm telling him I'll go get some ice cream.
Yeah, I've never been to Key West. I've only been to, I think, wherever Disney is when I was a kid. Orlando. Yeah, that was the last time I was there. I did see an alligator cross the road. So that was the thing. Now, let's check out generally where's macro markets moving for Bitcoin here. BlackRock Bitcoin ETF flows hit $7 billion, overtaking the Spider Gold Trust at $6.5 billion. There, Bitcoin inflows into ETFs are outpacing gold, while gold is literally breaching all-time highs. We have to go check out the gold chart now. I think I saw 3,400 this morning on gold. We're at 33.8 as it sits right now. But yeah, we almost hit 3,500 there for a second on gold. Absolutely crazy to compare these. So Bitcoin is outpacing the inflows for gold, yet gold's price is absolutely skyrocketing. And there are some overlayments to the M2 money supply, and a little bit, I talked about this when we were, very, very excited about the Chinese money market metric going up into the right, but it was actually the new way that they did accounting. So we're going to take a look at that, and the aggregate M2 is really what we should be looking at here. Now, where we have Vivek Ramaswamy. God, he's almost like a blast from the past. Strive Asset Management to form the first publicly traded asset management Bitcoin treasury company. Plan is to raise $1 billion to buy Bitcoin. My God, Vivek Ramaswamy is jumping in the deep end, trying to compete with Michael Saylor and Cantor Fitzgerald, Howard Lutnick, and was that Mahler? Was that Jack Mahler? Right?
Yeah, Jack Mahler.
It's Jack Mahler, Howard Lutnick on one team, Michael Saylor and Larry Fink on the other, and now Vivek Ramaswamy from the top ropes coming in here and trying to take them all out. We'll see how effective he is. And you know what? The more that this spreads across Wall Street, the better our bags do, regardless. But the race to the top and absorbing as much Bitcoin from my hands, from your hands, from every retail, plebe, middle class, lower upper class person on the planet is happening in live time right now. The powers that be want your Bitcoin because they know where this is all going. It's a very, very important time to pay attention to the macro. Now, MetaPlanet CEO Simon is talking about how they went from zero to nearly $1.4 billion after adopting the Bitcoin treasury strategy. How long is this? Let's see. About 2 minutes.
MetaPlanet is Japan's only publicly listed regulated vehicle dedicated exclusively to Bitcoin. We serve as a secure, accessible entry point for domestic investors seeking exposure to the Bitcoin economy. Our platform combines capital markets with institutional discipline, aligned with the world's most recognized open source brand. Looking ahead, we see education as a critical part of accelerating adoption. Through our license for Bitcoin Magazine Japan, we aim to onboard 1 million people into Bitcoin in Japan.
Jesus. Think about that. There's like 1.9 million Bitcoin ever to come out from the mining company in the future of Bitcoin. And 1 million people just in Japan are being aimed at. Like if this organization pulls off their goal, that means a big chunk of the Bitcoin to come is absorbed just by that population.
Almost half.
Almost half. You know what I mean?
Actually, a little over half.
This is something to think about because we have like BlackRock plays the century game. They don't play this little 4-year cycle game that we're used to.
Yeah, they have the money. They can play it as long as they need to.
Right. That's kind of scary, isn't it? For like the average, like people that are wanting to get into crypto, that's kind of sketchy. You know what I mean? Thinking about that, it is taking fire across Wall Street. We did have New Hampshire. We covered it live on the show right as we were live yesterday. New Hampshire was the first state to officially move forward with the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. It's a crazy time to be alive and see these actually going down. Now, on the money supply, yes, it is going up and to the right, and there is a gap between the M2 money supply translating to Bitcoin historically that we've seen time and time again. But this is a great post from Caleb Franzen, still seeing a lot of terrible global M2 charts. This is the only one that he trusts because he made it. So yes, he's biased, but at least he's telling you what's in mind and how he calculated it instead of hiding components and having distortions from M2 reclassifications. Now, this is the reclassification that primarily has happened within China and how they do their M2 money supply calculations. It's changed. And really, if you add all these adjusted for dollars in the M2 money supply, including the United States, Japan, Canada, the Eurozone, and the United Kingdom, and stop using India and China, this is what you end up with, is a much cleaner view of the M2 money supply. Now, where are we at? I wish this thing would go away with the little dots here because the endpoint is what I'm trying to see here. What is this hell? This right here. So this is the M2 and the jackknife to the upside that we've seen recently in the M2, where it's trying to break out of previous all-time highs. This is Bitcoin price. Now, what we see is the M2 moves up and then Bitcoin follows suit time and time again. They are pretty closely correlated, but there is a lag where the M2 is the leading indicator for Bitcoin's price. And Bitcoin is only just barely trying to reach back up to this all-time high. Honestly, there is quite a bit of room and runway for this, but we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves with assuming that the Chinese money market model is accurate, because they did change the literal way that they account for it. It just kind of wasn't what crypto Twitter wanted to hear, so they kind of stopped talking about it. Is L Bank restricted in the U.S.? Trying to sign up with your link and it says the IP is restricted in the region and company or country. It is, but also, if you take a trip down to Mexico real quick, I think you're all right. Or VPNs. Right?
VPNs are the best way to get around any IP barrier.
Now, this is a crazy prediction. Nathan McCauley talking about crypto banks going to be sounding the same as internet companies, descriptive for a while. And then the obvious to everyone, stablecoins, crypto custody and collateralization, and then tokenization is all going to drive the change over the next decade. And this is where the idea that Bitcoin and crypto are a fad is the same damn thing that we see when the internet and emails came out and mainstream media is like, this is a fad. I'm not going to log into my web browser here, right? You remember those clips, those hags? They're like, this is going to die. And now, like, all of our communication has moved into some digital form. We saw email come out for it, and then the chat rooms. And now I got 80 messages coming to my phone at all times. You can't escape your job site now because of it. It's the way it goes, right? Calling these things a fad, I think, is a little foolish.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I get called when I'm off, even by the boss who told me I could go home. He forgot he sent me home because I'm always there.
Yeah. So, when we see this, it's aggravating, but also understandable to see the person from the outside looking in. They call crypto only used for scams and all of these different kind of FUD articles that they come out with in mainstream media and on Congress and the Senate about it. Like Maxine Waters is up there just yelping about what stable coins are, like money laundering. Super unfortunate. On the other side of the bill, they're trying to fast track CBDCs. European Central Bank is planning to partner up with private sector to develop a digital euro. In a press release, the ECB claimed the findings will be shared in a report later this year. So a private company, someone on the open market in the private sector, is going to get the contract with the European Central Bank to build out their CBDC. I'm going to take a guess, WorldCoin. What do you think, Aaron?
Tether, maybe?
Tether?
Yeah.
You think Tether?
Well, it's not going to be USDC.
Probably not going to be
'cause
USDC.
That's going to be the American one.
Right.
And then, I would say probably Tether, or
Okay.
that would be my first guess.
Even with MiCA kind of blocking the first iteration of Tether, and they had to make a custom version of Tether to be used within MiCA, the EU's new regulations. Because that's the one thing that might have been a black mark for them, but they're showing willingness to change for the new regulations in Europe, right? That's kind of bearish for freedom, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like what happens if you post a meme in the UK, you get arrested right now.
Yep.
If they can take your buying power away, additionally, that's something to think about, right?
Yeah. Have you seen the video of when credit cards were first coming mainstream and they were using them at Burger King? I think that's the best video to display how everyone's going to end up using crypto.
100%. Absolutely.
They're like, I wouldn't use a credit card for my meal. Why am I in debt? And
right. Yeah.
It's just how it's just going to change.
Yeah, it is. USD1 from Trump. Do you think that would be brutal? Yeah, I want to know what you guys think. Like, I feel like WorldCoin and the AI control mechanism, the freaking brown eye scanner, all going to play into some sort of CBDC plan in the end. I want your guys' opinion of it, though. What we need now is to somehow collectively crash any CBDC. I completely agree with that, Crypto Tony. What up, Alex O Crypto? He was up in the space of Billy Goat Tails last night with me. Very cool guy. You guys don't market open. Alex O Crypto is always trading that as well. He goes live at around like 8:30, 9 o'clock our time in Eastern Standard. Beware of the brown eye scanner. Beware.
They could use Tron too, maybe. I know that's big in other countries.
You think Tron?
With all the stable coin on it.
Yeah.
Just because it's fast.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
In America, we're not using it, but I know in other countries they are using it a lot.
Yeah, in America, we're at least 5 years out. Thank you for the gift in the memberships as well. What a G. Alex O Crypto over here gifting memberships. Thank you very much for that, man. With those memberships, you guys join us on the Discord. Hang out with us in the morning. You can ask us direct one-on-one questions for everyone that just got that. Now, what we have here is 5 states that have essentially made it illegal to utilize or acknowledge CBDCs in the U.S. So even if this goes to court and the feds try to push this, it's got to go to the Supreme Court, and that takes 5 to 10 years to flush out. So in America, we have judicial rails that at least block that for a certain amount of time. The European Union all seem to be bending over for this incoming long dick of the government. So it is unfortunate to see it coming down the pike there. Man. Yeah, and DCA and pray if other countries do the CBDC, America will do it too. Something to think about here, is it a matter of not if, but when, right? Will they cause some major calamity over the next decade, maybe 5 years, to bring Americans to their knees begging for a universal basic income? Because that's what it would take at the current sentiment right now, right? I mean, if we have 5 states that have already made it illegal, some of the biggest economies in the country.
You know what states they are?
It's Florida is the primary leader. I think the other one was like Mississippi or Alabama. It's a bunch of red states. You know what I mean? It's like hardcore red states.
Florida banned fluoride in the water yesterday.
Florida banned fluoride?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably because it was taking part of its name too. You know what I mean? Now, moving on from CBDCs. Just do not comply. Okay. Just do not comply. Trump, the earth-shattering announcement to come. We're keeping an eye out on this earth-shattering announcement over the next week, remainder of the week. Hopefully it's not even like a 300% tariff on China. That would not be good for long. But we are seeing, I'm keeping an eye on this right now. I did have Scott Percent. He came out with a comment. They are talking about the importance of crypto adoption here in the U.S. We may as well hop on over to this. So Justin, Treasury Secretary Percent says digital assets are an important source of innovation that will drive the usage and dominance of the U.S. dollar. Let's listen to what's happening on the Hill.
Also, that digital assets are an important source of innovation that will drive that can drive usage of the U.S. dollar around the world, as with stablecoin legislation. There is speculation that there may be up to $2 trillion of demand over the next few years for U.S. government securities from digital assets.
See, so that's how they could leverage the tech behind crypto without having to go down the CBDC route. Right there. I see the options for offloading treasuries. And, that is something that, when you're talking about like a good altcoin that's been vetted and that probably has staying power, that's where Onodo took that spot. It's got ins with Patrick McHenry, who was the chair of the House Financial Services Committee, who's now working with Onodo or advising it. You have the current SEC chair, Paul Atkins, who was on the board of Securitize, which worked with Onodo through the Biddle program and fucking BlackRock. So if those types of people are willing to have their face on the connection list of Onodo, you're damn right that they're not going to let it, go down and be this black mark on their background. That's just
probably not going to rug.
Probably not going to rug. Right. And one thing that was unfortunate in RWAs that I did see last night was Maple. Maple, I got out of it a long, long time ago because Onodo was taking the spotlight. Y'all remember me lamenting. I was sad. It was like, I was like in Maple and Onodo and all this crap. And, we were looking at Maple when it was down in the $2 range, all the way back here in about 2023. It was like $3. And then it really started to make some moves.
You are banned!
What happened?
I do what I must.
Okay. Coinbase is down. That's not good. Coinbase is down. So Maple had this like migration with syrup, right? Were you messing with syrup? I remember you brought up syrup or something to me one time.
When it first came out, but yeah, I got out of that long ago.
Yeah. Why did you get out of it though?
Well, I wasn't really sure because I was trying to do the farm
Mhm.
on BSC and impermeable loss. Every time I turned around, I was
really?
losing some money, and I was like, yeah, I'll just straight APY, just a one-sided.
Yeah.
I've tried the farming thing, and I
Okay.
don't know. I always seem up on the losing end of that. So.
Dude, if
It's confusing.
Dude, DeFi Crypto and Airdrops, our new channel that Vet's leading up, he does a fantastic job at breaking down.
Oh
the
yeah,
good
I've
ones.
looked up a lot of stuff he's talked about, especially like with aerodrome and stuff like that. But I mean, like I put it in there, I stake it, I get 6% paid back in that coin. That works all day. But yeah, if it's a stable coin with one, that's one thing. But if you got 2 coins, it don't usually work.
Let's see if
out real
Coinbase
well.
is actually down too. This is nuts.
I think the only one I've used is Camino.
Camino's a great Solana spot.
Yeah,
absolutely great.
Camino, Margin Fi, and then to Thrift, I think, and I had the whole loop of all the lending and going on. I was trying to airdrop farm, but I ended up making.
You had a financial centipede going on. You had a loop.
Yeah,
I get it.
Which took like 2 hours to unwind the whole thing when I did it.
Let's see if Coinbase is actually
wind it up. You got to remember where you wound it up in and how to go back and undo it to get your LP. And
I'm doing the live
out.
test on Coinbase right now. It's working for me, so it's not down on my phone. We are seeing some posts out there saying, Coinbase is down, something's not right. So we do gotta
check Trump's tweets.
Oh lordy, ain't that the truth? All right, well, now we got to move on to the rest of the stories. We'll keep an eye on this Coinbase situation as it unfolds. Now, China has boosted its gold reserves for the 6th consecutive month, now holding $243 billion worth of gold, likely playing into the gold moon shot that we are seeing right now. Nicole Minnis, her Coinbase is working. Matthew King, his is not working. Nate, it works for him. So we got some intermittent. It's not working. It is working. Okay. In the Villages, Florida, residents sometimes place shower scrunchies on the roofs of their cars.
I've seen it.
Are you? So the Villages people are going to be coming to Vegas. And apparently, we are targets of meet and greets. With the Village people. So
they can learn about Bitcoin.
Okay, it might. They're after. You can say Ocha, maybe.
I'm in danger.
Who knows? But we're cooking a good steak for anyone. That's a great time. We're gonna have to buy a lot of steak. I warned Kelly about it. Let's go to Down Detector. Down Detector.
Robert says, "Don't say Target and Vegas in the same sentence."
Oh no, you know what? Black Site membership, you can get access to the body cam footage and all of the psyop that happened in Vegas. With me and Veteran Crypto, we dug into that. Sounded like an M240. Now, Coinbase. Now that I'm distracted here. Also, I got to get that silencer you brought up, dude.
Oh yeah,
that's a good silencer.
You definitely got to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at this. Outages reported in the last 24 hours. Major spike. Coinbase is down. Where's the charts? Let's go here. This is fun. I love breaking chaos live. Charts are not showing nothing too crazy. Wonder what's going on there.
That's what happened when you post hundreds of jobs that aren't actually real and you're not actually hiring people.
No. That's what they do.
Salty with Coinbase.
They just collect resumes.
Coinbase took me through 5 months of interviews in like 6 rounds, and then at the end, on the final one, they said, "We're actually not hiring for it."
Well, because you didn't have pronouns in your thing, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna dye my hair.
You're gonna dye your hair. All right.
I like Isaac's color.
Jesus Christ. Now, when you're applying for jobs, oftentimes they'll leave posts open just to collect data. And have a pool of people they can reach out to, when the actual openings do come back up. Some stealth QE. God, Aaron's telling you to dye it orange. Oh my Lord. The Fed just bought $34 billion in treasury bonds. QE has begun, just stealth QE. And this does, the alt season conversation, it's whispered about, it's talked about quite a bit. I'm more so looking out for the federal interest rate cuts to be in June. That risk appetite to really start coming into a fever pitch. And then altcoins can start running against Bitcoin to the upside for a short amount of time. And if you are holding altcoins, good ones right now, you're going to be a genius for a short amount of time. Take advantage of that time. Get out of the idea that the altcoin is going to continue to go up and to the right and outpace Ethereum. Everyone, that's what the thing that everyone does when they have an altcoin that's doing good. They're like, oh, it's only got this much more to do until it can outpace Ethereum. A 5x, a 10x, those are great. Okay. Don't beat yourself up for taking profits off altcoins. Okay. What you need is more Bitcoin. Real estate, Bitcoin, guns, vehicles. The combination is simple. You know, that's all it is.
Selling your altcoin gains for more Bitcoin.
That's
not make you sad.
Right.
But if you round trip it, you will be very sad.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what the sentiment falls
Comes
to that
from
extreme
professional
fear.
round tripper. Let me.
Absolutely. You know, and my ultimate sell signal is when my wife finally tells me her next big idea. So I will let you know when that does come, because she is the best profit taker I have literally ever came across. And I talk to really good TA people. I talk to macroeconomic geniuses. And then my wife comes off the top ropes with the next addition to the house or a car that she's finally ready to buy because she sees the charts and she nails the top. What do we got?
Wu Chain, man. We were talking about suppressors and about how
I know.
what a short time.
Is it only a week wait?
It took 10.5 months to get mine.
Dude.
Yeah, I
But,
thought it
yeah.
took like a year.
It does, anywhere from 10 months to 14 months back in the day. But now they're talking about a week to 3 weeks.
Dude, I
So
mean,
definitely be buying.
that's
a few
why I
more.
was holding off on it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to wait a year.
There's no reason to hold off now.
Okay.
Buy one.
All right. So now this is an interesting thing to see. Mortgages on the MBA application side, 11%. The previous was negative 4%. So we're actually seeing some mortgage applications tick back to the upside. Maybe the housing market is seeing a little bit of breaking of that Mexican standoff, the stagflationary worries that we were seeing from interest rates being so high and the prices not budging. Now, China has come out and cut interest rates on standing lending facilities by 10 basis points across all tenors, effective May 8th. So we see the beginning of quantitative easing for their banking sector in China. America's sitting back, holding the line as long as they can, but there will be cuts within America too. It's just about who cuts first is the loser, who cuts last is the winner. Now, this is crazy. And I've talked about Apu with Link. What a great name. I know you talked about this on the show quite a bit. So the President Trump 2026 budget proposal would effectively dismantle this Section 8 program. Holy shit, that would be a big move. Do you know why that'd be such a big move? Fuck. Larry Fink would be pissed about this. You know?
Lots of people get guaranteed rent, like landlords.
It's a guaranteed rent, but Blackstone and the country's largest single family owner, which is Frontier Partners, they have been pouring hundreds of billions of dollars buying new homes that are specifically meant for Section 8. They were banking on the American people being brought to their knees in aggregate down to the Section 8 level, putting them in those Section 8 houses, and then just printing that $1,000, $1,500 a month from each family that no longer can afford a home. They got kicked out of their homes that they owned, or, you know, can't qualify in for regular rent anymore because the economy's gotten so bad. Trump thinking about dismantling the program. That's going to be something very interesting to see how Fink reacts to that. Blackstone's been betting a boatload of money on Section 8 expanding here. Very, very interesting. What up? TradeFly, guns, beer, and steak, Bitcoin 2025. Thoughts on what Link going to do? Oh, I got all kinds of thoughts on what Link going to do. We'll get into that in the altcoin section. Absolutely, Nicole Ministator. Now, we're going to talk about guns, beer, and steak. We're thinking about going to the automatic weapon range in Vegas. You know what I mean? That'd be kind of fun to go.
If you have enough money, you can shoot hogs out of a helicopter with a Gatling gun.
Oh, God.
In Vegas.
In Vegas?
Yeah, it's like $5,000, I think, to do a 30-minute or hour trip.
That's not bad.
No, not to shoot a Gatling gun out of a helicopter of hogs.
Shit. Okay. No, Miss Teen Crypto Randy was like, I want to go to the automatic weapon range. That'd be hilarious. That'd be
pretty funny.
She's like 5 feet tall.
That would be fun.
All right. Now, this news. We're keeping an eye on this. This might be the major news that Trump was highlighting or whispering about. Secretary Bessent is going to meet with Chinese lead economic official this week, keeping an eye out on that. And he also said that he's going to have the U.S. stop bombing Yemen, says the Houthis won't attack American ships now. TradeFly is going to fly the chopper, right?
Yeah.
TradeFly is actually, I mean, he actually flies for the Air Force or something like that.
Yeah,
Look at
I would love to get
stud pilot.
I'd love to get my fixed wing and rotary,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Okay.
takes a lot of money.
Yeah. And time, right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
time.
time, as long as you got money, if you got plenty of money, you got all the time in the world.
You know what?
Well, until
That
you
is, yeah, I would say this. Like, I've been around a lot of giga rich people, and they had been worth 30, 40, $50 million. But what they were poor in, and what they got poorer in, is connection with the family and control of their own time. Because the richer they got, the more they filled up their schedule. And it turned into this point, like you saw me today. I'm like running up and down, doing all kinds of shows. It gets to the point when you are that rich and you don't have self-control and control of your time, where you will get so overextended you won't even breathe. You'll need an energy drink every half an hour to keep up with
question
your
is,
lifestyle.
are you a 20, 30, 40, or $50 million guy?
Me? I mean, I
don't
don't
need to
know where
answer that.
I'm
You
going
don't
to
need
end
to
up
answer that.
going, but if I did end up that range, like the whole goal for me is if I get to that range is to have a lot of foster children. Because the real application of wealth is giving kids a good place to grow up in. I think that I'm going to die either way. And so I want kids to have a good experience with me as a father, and then pass that on and have this exponential effect on their families for generations to come. I think that kind of wealth is much more valuable than some fucking, $10 million purse or, Gucci bullshit. The legacies you leave behind on this planet, they actually compound and they play into other family units that are created, decades, hundreds of years later. So the impacts that you make and the way that you treat your wife and the way that you treat your kids now has an effect that will reverberate for centuries. Think about that.
So got it. No tracksuits, no Lamborghinis.
You know what? It is what it is. Now,
are you sure you don't want some more farm hands?
Farm hands? Well, they're children / farm hands. Okay, listen. Listen.
As long as you feed them and don't beat them, it's okay.
No, it's I got to keep him active somehow. You know what I mean? And Bronson, he loves building stuff. He doesn't like taking care of the chickens at all. But you know what I mean? It's the daughter, she's really good with the other kid. She's really kind of getting into that babysitting mode. The baby twins, they're starting to take care of each other and be understanding, and that stuff matters a lot, because the groundwork and the lessons you're giving children right now, it has a very, very long lasting effect. Now, this is from the FTC. 2 million teens were served to groomers by Instagram's algorithm. 2019 internal report revealed that Instagram's algo was suggesting minors to adult predators. What in the literal fuck? Right? And so we have a data hub that is aggregating all of its victims to data known predators. 2 million teen accounts were shown to flagged groomers. And Zuckerberg's team apparently knew the risks were there, still didn't give Instagram enough resources to protect the kids. Why? Because according to court documents, Zuck was more worried about Facebook losing clout. Holy shit. So when that little prick tries to come out and act base because it's the cool thing to do right now, just remember that he served at-risk children up on a platter to groomers on his platforms for years, knowing it. Simply didn't address it because he would lose clout, right? That's something to keep in mind. Now, with this, we move on to World War III. And why? We have some inside video of World War III breaking out at the border here. Let's take a look. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah. If you want to go, then you go to hill and go down.
Why you get frightened?
Why? Are you crazy?
You're fucking paranoid,
You are
man.
fucking. You are fucking.
You fucking you bloody.
You bloody.
Fuck you bloody. Bastard bitch.
You
Fuck you,
bastard,
fuck
you.
you. Bloody fuck you bloody. Fuck.
That's his inside the war zone. That is unleashing.
Could I get a Slurpee with that?
Okay, so I had to go with my neighbor one time. Okay, he called my wife really mean names, and I basically sounded the exact same way. Okay, and I think Isaac, have you seen that video?
Which one?
The neighbor dispute one.
Oh yeah. I love that video so much.
It's basically the same thing, you know. But there's a reason why I think India is ready to go to blows with Pakistan, and it is this. And I told BJ he should get his ass on the show to talk about this because we've been highlighting it just a bit last year when there was in 2024, 12% of iPhones were made in India, not China, right? So the dominance of producing iPhones is actually shifting just a bit, just a touch. But now the outlook is to produce 100% of the iPhones in India, a major, major market. And really what I see here is this may actually be tied into the trade war and India's betrayal to China in finding a resolution and an agreement with Trump on trade negotiations well ahead of China wanting to do so and breaking away from the BRICS nerd club that was trying to go after United States world dominance there. So this actually is what I think is happening right now. It is, something that's going on in relevance. You compare this backdrop of this actual conflict, like missiles are dropping in India and Pakistan, like they are fighting. But we still are holding. We didn't nuke down to 75K. We dropped from 109,000 down to $75,000 per Bitcoin on trade war stuff. Then we see two nuclear powers actually go to blows with missiles, not nukes yet. Hopefully they don't get there. But we see them start to go to blows, and we barely even wince on the Bitcoin chart. That means extreme fear and volatility is already cooked into this current market cap of Bitcoin. You have to understand that. And that's something that's really solidifying for me to think about. You know what I mean? Is that you guys remember the dip in 2021? The start of 2021, we had the 30% dip. You remember that one? It felt like we might be like over for a short amount of time. Like I was cycle holding and I held through it. This last dip, most comfortable dip I've ever gone through.
Yeah, I didn't change anything. I mean, other than a few leverage trades.
All right.
But yeah, let's hope they don't turn into glass companies over there because that wouldn't be good for anybody.
Oh yeah.
Making glass.
Yep. You know what?
Be good.
That is very bad. Very bad what you're bringing up there.
Especially if you're there.
Yeah, for sure. And this is what chaos is always going on. It's just information's much faster now, so we get to see all the chaos going on. This is why it is also important. Like you cannot responsibly own crypto without firearms. Now, obviously, nukes, you can't do much about that, but I get as prepared as I possibly can for the family. And then I don't lose sleep at night worrying about what if this happens or that happens, because I've done what I can as a man with a family. Just helps you sleep a little bit at night. Now, we do have to keep track of this Coinbase deal. This is Paul Grewal with Coinbase talking about blockchain evidence being used to trace stolen crypto in a New York City robbery ring that helped New York PD secure convictions. Full story below. Let's go in here and actually see what this was.
If you steal someone's crypto and you send it to yourself,
you're going to get caught.
Especially if you do it from their phone and you rob them.
Right.
Like they can tell where it goes. But the people who are going to do that probably don't understand how crypto works.
Yeah. And this is why you trust no one. Suspects operating in New York's 7th and 9th precincts would approach individuals, many from the LGBTQ plus community, outside clubs and bars. Sometimes they offered them drugs. Other times it started with a friendly convo. Once the victim was impaired, take their phone, gain access to their Face ID or coerce pins, transfer the money through banking and payment apps, and then drain the crypto wallets, often within minutes. So that's why, it pays to not be on a bunch of drugs. Or
and it pays to not be gay.
You went there for me. Yeah, protect your butthole. Okay. Now, Disney is going to roll out to the Middle East for the first theme park in Abu Dhabi. Disney Dhabi is coming.
That's going to be crazy.
It's probably going to be pretty lit, right? Abu Dhabi goes big. Now, what we see here, I'm never going to go there. I will never go there. But you know what? It's probably going to make for some cool selfies for people that want to go traveling across the world and take pictures of awesome, architecture. They're probably going to go pretty big.
Don't
with
they
that
have
build-up.
big wind, sandstorms there?
Yeah, I think they do.
That would suck.
That would
Be
indeed suck.
Be standing in line or own the actual roller coaster and a
Yeah.
sandstorm's coming, you can't get out.
Yeah, that would
That would
be
suck
unfortunate.
bad.
That
They
would
give
be
you goggles and a little thing to put over your face before you get started,
Yeah.
just in case.
It'd be like Dune. They should have the ride Dune
Yeah,
out
that
there,
would actually be
bro.
cool.
Come on. That'd be a good fit, right? You could ride a worm through the sand.
Ride a worm.
That'd be sick. All right. Now, Senator Chris Murphy is dropping a meme act to ban presidents and Congress from issuing meme coins. Calls Trump coin the biggest corruption scandal in White House history. Meme coins, no thanks, they say. Stick to Bitcoin and real utility alts. Now, honestly, there ain't shit they could do to Trump over the meme coin, basically. He launched it before he was president. And now, when you're looking at memes, is it the buyer's problem for buying something that literally has no value? Or is it the creator's problem for knowingly creating and having no value behind their project?
You are banned.
Doobie doo.
What
Who got banned?
Yeah. So this is where a little bit of personal responsibility has to come into play for the average crypto investor. I would say that, the free market is going to produce a bunch of useless shit continuously in every different sector. It is up to us to not buy the useless crap if we don't want to have a higher chance of going to zero. That is essentially what I think. I think a free market works itself out over time. And the more regulatory stopgaps that we put on things, the more the market just evolves to get around them and create even more nefarious, useless things to get around that, right? So there is, she loves the worm. That is Jesus. Unbelievable. Isaac,
I'm gonna ban the entire chat.
You're going to Vegas with that. Just concerned me.
Why is that so concerning to you? You talk to me about it every single day about how it's so concerning that I'm going
Well,
to
I
Vegas.
remember
with you.
me at 18, bro. I wasn't even at 37, I'm planning on smashing multiple Long Island iced teas per day. And, I don't know.
He's going to be one of the guys when I went to Vegas. The last day, I left a half bottle of liquor by a guy with his head on the curb at 9 a.m.
And Quince Ocha is going hard this morning. Yeah. Yeah. Now, Onodo, TVL just exploded. $1.8 billion or $1.1 billion, up $100 million in a very short amount of time. One of the most powerful tools that you can use to track this stuff for your own. I talked about it I don't feel like Discover covers it too much. DeFi Llama, not Ethil Llama, DeFi Llama is a fantastic resource for tracking this stuff for your own sake and knowing that what you're getting into, has upward momentum. I would definitely recommend DeFi Llama here. This is what the symbol looks like. It's not going to pull up because I got 80 tabs going on here, but this is it. And any chain or any project that you feel like getting into, if you're sitting here demanding that I answer the question about is ICP still a sound investment day in and day out,
Scam.
I don't have to answer that question for you because I'm giving you the answers right there. You know what I mean? It's you can use these tools. DeFi Llama, Artemis is another great tool to utilize for yourself. But I know a lot of folks like myself are out here speculating in altcoins to add more to the Bitcoin stack. And you have to make sure that what you're getting into actually has upward momentum in users, total value locked coming into the chain. And, really just beyond the people behind Onodo, like Patrick McHenry and Paul Atkins, the TVL shows just more data to kind of compound that thought process. So something interesting to keep in mind. Now, this is interesting. Coinbase has now been an exclusive partner set up with Riot Games on the League of Legends and Valorant esports events, bringing blockchain rewards to enhance fan experience. Kind of an interesting move. Hopefully they don't frickin' shut the website off right as it's running, because that's annoying. It's like Solana is extremely powerful. Before Trump meme tokens came out, Solana went down 12 times. Trump meme coin was the largest test on any singular blockchain for users added and interacting over a 3-day period. That was 800,000 users actively swapping coins using, I think it was some credit card payment system they were using additional to that. And it didn't go down. Solana had the stress test, the biggest stress test we've ever seen, and it continued working. So obviously, that gave more compounding thought to me, understanding Solana is here to stay. It's more about not chasing just the meme culture within Solana. That gets all the mind share, but really the AI agent and AI infrastructure plays on Solana are going to be very, very effective. And that's more so the sector outside of just straight up Solana that I like looking at. You can buy skin with crypto in that. That'd be pretty interesting to see. I play PUBG now, and I can understand, like, I'm not like addicted to PUBG, but it is a pretty damn good game. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, if you're excited about games, I can understand that, but I basically have from 9 p.m. to about 11 p.m. to play them. It's only because I got to be dead silent because my wife, she wakes up if I breathe the wrong way. If I'm eating a chip, she hears that shit in the next room over. It's, it is what it is. Now, what is this? What do we got here from Vet? Oh, yeah. Oh, this is Patrick McHenry. Sideline Patrick McHenry. Patrick McHenry, part of the Onodo team now. Now, this is, an interesting thing. The Hill, Thompson, Steele, and Johnson release of the digital asset market structure discussion graph, but it's highlighting Patrick McHenry, who used to be the lead of the House Financial Services Committee, joining ranks with Onodo. And when you're messing with treasuries as a altcoin, like Onodo is, things get very, very sketchy. And if you are obscuring data in any way, or you have a chance of leaving a black mark on the backgrounds of the likes of Patrick McHenry or Paul Atkins, you're going to get weeded out pretty immediately. So that's where, I have it coming out on Discover Crypto tonight, but Onodo is right behind Chainlink with me in terms of potential, you know what I mean? And staying power here. It is looking very, very good. Now, this was the Syrup situation. We saw Syrup go live on Binance yesterday. And a lot of people, honestly, if you go through this, are pretty aggravated. I'm wondering, Maple drained my wallet, learn from me. What a scam project. Sad enough to know that Binance also support the scam since all they care about is their allocation. Maple community is just exit liquidity. This is not a great thing. And I do thank God that I kind of chose Onodo over Maple all that time ago when I saw that Onodo was getting all the love from the Biddle project, from BlackRock, and now it's kind of compounded into Patrick McHenry being part of it. Paul Atkins, now the SEC, previous part of the Biddle project. It really kind of clicked in my mind to get the hell out of Maple because it was losing the narrative. And today, Maple, unfortunately, is not $20. It's $1.70 right now. It's fallen 87% in just 24 hours. All time down 92%. So not a great experience. This is why, in a few months ago, when I consolidated the portfolio, I had a lot of people like, why aren't you still holding this or that? I just wanted to bring it down to like the 7 projects I feel the most rock solid about. I have a couple like small bags of speculative money that I'm willing to lose, honestly. I understand that they're speculative. But yeah, I really consolidated down to about 7 projects a few months ago. Very glad that I did. Because now I'm seeing a complete price reset on many of those things that I previously had left. On the market right now, EOS, blast from the past, making a move. Stacks coming back up 84 cents. God, Stacks was at $2 though. Last time I was really snooping around this thing. Falling back down. I mean, this is the price reset I'm talking about. A lot of these, decent projects have came back down to previous channels of accumulation. And these accumulation channels, about 50 to $1. But Stacks was at $3.50 not too terribly long ago in March of 2024. So, and how we do March of 2024, this is the last time I'm going to cover this, but there's easy metrics to use. Let's just do what ICP to Bitcoin look like. March, and this is one that I haven't looked at literally since I sold it. So we go to the weekly. Bam. Oh my God. This is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. Holy God.
Holy scam.
Oh my, look at it. It just it's the gift that keeps on giving.
I'm pretty sure I bought ICP. Is this the one that launched like $400?
You literally bought it all the way up.
I'm pretty sure I bought it at like $350 and sold it at like $250. And was like, come out here.
Yeah. And I had a weird experience. Like I bought it for $200 first, then it kept dropping down to like $100. I bought a little bit more, and then I bought a couple more tokens at like $50 last cycle, right? So I was in it for like $400 and then just sold everything at like $45, just got the hell out of the way. And then when I saw that it was $3 in March of 2024, I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to go make my money back plus some. So I bought a lot. Okay, I bought a lot of ICP at $3, but I was using a chart known as the ICP to Bitcoin graph. And you know what? When I saw this candle on the weekly, this shows clear as day how many Satoshis to ICP I was now getting. And I bought this freaking trench right here. Of course, you take profits on a candle like this, you guys. Look at the percentage gain. Any altcoin that we're sitting here holding and diamond handing, when we see it rise by 200% against Bitcoin, boom, there it is. And I was able to make up well beyond my $400 losses last cycle on just this tiny little move, buying the floor, jeeting it in March and April of 2024. It was a great time, and I haven't looked back. And I'm not thrilled by this graph at all. Like, this is absolutely, where's zero? Yeah, let's just mark 0 on this because it is not far away from 0. Let's just put this fun little line right here. It's like a Bob Ross line. Okay, that's 0 right there. All right, now, other stuff. We got to cover the other stuff. Ethereum with the Pectra upgrade incoming. We have seen inflows into Ethereum. Last 24 hours saw ETH lead the inflows with $166 million. Barra leads the outflows. Short-term farming, that's Barra Chain, as it's known, leading the outflows with $178 million after users are unhappy with staking rewards. So it looks like a big shift in a short amount of time. And for anyone that wants to understand where to find this data as well, because we're nerds in crypto, you may as well be using data, right? That's what it's all about here, folks. We get the data. It's transparent. It gives you the power. Go to Artemis, ARTEMIS, and .xyz, right? You can just type in Artemis Crypto on, what's it called? Google, and you'll be fine. But here, now we have, I'm going to make this smaller for a second. You got to go to flows, the tab flows right here. And then you can get a snapshot of the last 3 months of flows. And this is where you get to see, like, Sonic's getting a lot of love, Base getting a lot of love, products on Arbitrum, Unichain, Solana, and Bitcoin. And then you see the ones that are falling a little bit behind. You know what I mean? It's a pretty good tool to just utilize to know where the flows are going in crypto because things change quickly. With that being said, I would appreciate all you. Jerome Powell is going live at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, and Discover Crypto is starting up at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to get ready for live coverage of the FOMC. So join us on that show. And are we redirecting to that show, Isaac?
If it's set up, yeah, I could take a look real quick.
Yeah, check it out here because I'm going to be covering that. I kind of want to put it along, while you're doing that. I'm going to just snoop around the liquidity grabs that we can see.
We are already set up for the redirect.
Perfect. All right. So we are
Aaron.
sitting here edging, man. We're at like 96.3 or something like that. Right above these. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a scam wick to the downside. Maybe that yellow spot would be 95.5 still. So I'll keep that trigger finger ready to go on that. Love and appreciate every single one of you out there. Thank you very much, Manawak, for joining us on the show. Iran, it was really good seeing you out there.
Definitely thanks for having us.
Hell
It's always
yeah,
fun.
man. It's a good time.
Shout out to everybody out there that keeps this going.
Yeah. He's our enemy. Love and appreciate every single one of you guys. 78,000 subscribers. Feels good. Isaac,
Sir,
we're building a damn empire between
we
the two
are
of us. It's
building a
absolutely ridiculous.
small, tiny militia right here in this basement.
Unbelievable. All right. I'll see you guys very shortly on Discover Crypto. Until then, I bid you adieu. Goodbye.